Today we have a fairly unusual situation we'll talk about, and then you'll have to make some decisions for yourself. This couple went into a bakery in Lakewood, Colorado, to have a wedding cake baked on a certain date that they were going to have a party in Colorado, and then they were going to be married in Massachusetts. The bakery they walked in was owned by Mr. Jack Phillips, and the couple are two men, so they're gay. It's a gay couple, and Jack Phillips came out and started talking to him and said that he was not baking a cake for a gay couple, period. He was not going to bake the cake for them so they could get married there and have the party in Colorado and go to Massachusetts. And so the two men's name is David Mullins and Charlie Craig that are getting married, and since 2012, this Jack Phillips has been in court, and they've been in court because he said, I'm not baking this cake, and they said they want the cake. They're getting discriminated against, and so they've been fighting this for 6 years on this cake, and still, I assume it still hasn't been baked, but and they go through all the things everybody was talking about, and I guess he was against same-sex marriages, and supposedly he was against his religious faith. And now, and then in 2012 they started with the courts. Now, I don't know who paid all these fees. You had to go through 6 years of lawyers, and somebody paying lawyer fees. I would rather pay for the cake myself and forget about it. But the first one, they went through a Colorado Civil Rights Commission, and then in state courts, and I think they won. It was going back and forth. The two gay people won in some of the lower courts in Colorado, but then the Court of Appeals even said that of Colorado said that Mr. Phillips' free speech rights had not been violated. And they said one reason, the couple never discussed with him all the details of the transaction or what they were really going to do, and down in 2012 that this would keep going and going. And then naturally we had two sets of groups fighting. People we had were people who said they had religion and they were against the gays, and then they had the gay groups on their side, and then they said there was a ruling in 2015, the Supreme Court ruling, which guaranteed a constitutional right to same-sex marriage marking the unions of gay couples, second-class marriages unworthy of legal protection. Religious groups responded that the government should not force people to violate their principles in order to make a living. So they were talking about this guy who owned a bakery shop, that if he was against these religion, these marriages, was against his religious rights, why would he have to do that and make these cakes just to make a living? And also the only way they're going back and forth and through the courts in Colorado, all the different courts, the lower courts, and then they went up to a higher court. then, after this is going back and forth, they went to the Supreme Court of the United States. And the Supreme Court of the United States filed their opinion yesterday. And that's what we're talking about today. And in their opinion, the baker, Jack Phillips, won a 7-2 decision, which basically said that he didn't have to make this cake. Once he found out this was a gay marriage and his religion, they were against gays, and he didn't have to make the cake, period, in 2012. So there were a lot of opinions, and every Supreme Court justice wrote an opinion. Ginsburg was one of the people that that went against it, but it still passed 7-2. Although Ginsburg did say that she agreed with some of the passages giving gay rights protections. And then they went back and talked about gay rights as given to people in Colorado law, which now these laws were on appeal to the Supreme Court, and that's what they were arguing. And then the decision came out yesterday, and they had different groups representing them. Alliance Defending Freedom, which represented Phillips, said the ruling was a victory for religious liberty. And then the other side had American Civil Liberties Union representing Mullins and Craig, the two men that were getting married. And they were saying that the court mentioned that legal rights for gay men and lesbians. Basically that was it, and they didn't go into a lot of specific details. So this is just starting, and it's like the fight with the football rights, sitting down, standing up to the Pledge of Allegiance. This is just starting. And one thing that they used in this opinion was the fact that there was no conversation between the guy down in the bakery and the couple getting married. He shut it off. So they're talking about if they would have had a conversation the rest of the day, who was coming to the wedding and this and that maybe that would have turned the opinion. And there's no that I could see, they haven't given a lot of foresight, because there are going to be a lot of problems coming up with these weddings. And I guarantee you, if we walked into 10 bakeries now in Colorado, and it might, since it's a Supreme Court decision, it might cover the whole country, and we might have different answers in all of them. And I don't know if we can get a cake, but the thing is, gays are living together, and there are gays in this country, and they have certain rights. They have a lot of rights, and I don't think this opinion, which went down 7-2 for the guy that owned the bakery, really went into all the different things that are going to come out in these situations. And this involves food. Now, when they go into restaurants to buy lunch, dinner, whatever, you don't think this kind of thing is going to come up? And there are going to be people saying, I'm not getting you a hamburger, because I don't believe in that with you two sitting there, and I know you're married or you're getting married, or two women. So this is going to come up 1,000 times. And I don't think this opinion, and some of the judges even said, did not go far enough to start talking about situations that are going to be coming up all over the United States. Until they do that, we don't know what's going to happen. I guess if you go into a bakery and you're gay and you want to order a wedding cake, you go in with Scotch tape over your mouth. Thank you. I know, like that one, right? They don't kill us.